Hello, guys! Welcome back to my show, Get Real with Jasmin. So, if this is your first time to my show, this is usually a podcast about personal growth and self development. But sometimes I also like to talk about something that brings no benefit to your life. And today is one of those days. So, today I actually want to talk about the things that I found interesting or something that I love or hate after moving to Dubai. So, just before I get started, a little bit background about me. So, I am a Taiwanese, but I used to live in Australia for the past few years. So, anything that I'm gonna talk about right now about Dubai is also based on the comparison with these countries that I've lived in before. So, maybe this is something that you felt quite normal for you, and if that's the case, also leave a comment down below because I'm very interested, like, what is your country like? So yeah, let's get started. All right, number one, there are so many Indians here. Is that too strong for the first one? Oh my god, people, there are overwhelming amount of Indians and Pakistani here. So, before I moved to Dubai, I know like Dubai, it's also a country, not a city that's very diverse, which I love because I used to live in Australia. So I really enjoy this environment where it's very diverse and people come from like different cultural background. So when I moved back to Taiwan, I feel very boring because everybody looks the same and I miss this environment of diversity. So when I came here, I thought I have the same expectations in my mind that it's gonna be very diverse like Australia, which is not true, people. It's just Indians here. Sometimes I feel like I'm in India. Like I would say Dubai is still pretty diverse. There's still like people from different countries, but the majority of them comes from India and Pakistan. And I feel like in Australia, the diversity is more balanced, that you can see a mix of Indians or Asians, like, and like white people, Latinos, whatever. It's like all together. So it's really more like balanced. Like I meet people from really all sorts of countries all the time. And I feel like because of this, because there's like an overwhelming majority of Indians and Pakistanis here, I think I felt a bit lonely in the beginning because there's literally no people that look like me. Not much people. And of course there's a lot of Chinese, but like but yeah, so I feel like it's a bit lonely because everybody, when you walk on the street, you really feel like an outsider. And when I say there's no people that look like me, I mean like, like Japanese, Koreans, these kind of people. I love Koreans and Japanese, but I haven't met one of them ever since I came here. Like, where are all the Japanese and Koreans in Dubai? I love them. I really love them. They're so polite and nice and but yeah, anyway, that's my point here. Like, I feel like when we say diverse, Dubai is not really that diverse, just in my opinion. And the next thing I want to talk about is the delivery culture here. It's so convenient here. And I think the delivery that I have ordered in the past few weeks is probably more than the delivery that I have ordered my whole life. Like we Asian people, we don't pay for the delivery fee. What are you talking about? I think here delivery is more like a lifestyle here, that just everything you need you can order on delivery apps. And even for the delivery apps, there are like 5 different of them. So it's really like so convenient. And when I talk about delivery, it's not just about like food or groceries. It's literally everything. Like, according to my neighbors, you can even order like salon, your like nails and cleaning service, everything on delivery app, and they would just come to your home and do everything for you. So it's very convenient. And I think because of this delivery culture, it's also like it makes the traffic even more messy, I think, because especially during like the rush hours around like 6 p.m., Oh my god, people. Oh my god, like there would be like cars but also motorbikes at the same time. And it just make like traffic extremely dangerous, and not extremely dangerous, not that dangerous, but it's just very messy. So that's why like the traffic is even worse in Dubai during the rush hours. Number three, it's also something very, very interesting for me, which is the table service at McDonald's. I've never experienced table service at McDonald's my whole life. And I'm not sure if this is like in all Dubai's or whatever, but I mean like the one in city center. It's still very interesting. Like where in the world that McDonald's offer table service? I remember I was ordering at the counter and I was just waiting on the side, and then the lady approached me. She's like, "No, no, no, just go find a seat and we will bring it to you." And I'm like, "Really? This is McDonald's. I pay like $5 and you give me table service?" It's super weird. And you don't need to like um throw away your own trash. And she even opened the door for me. That's like super weird. Like, and anybody that's watching this video right now, like, can you tell me if you ever experienced table service at McDonald's before? And by the way, it's not just a one-time thing, because after that I did pay a lot of attention to that McDonald's, and that lady really opened the door for the customers all the time. It's super weird. And this will link to my number 5 or number 4. It's they have doormen at the shopping mall that is opening the door for you. That's also very weird for me. That I think maybe in Taiwan I did remember maybe when I was back when I was very young, back when the economy is still not that bad, there were some like doormen in the department store, but I can't see it anywhere. Right now, even in Australia, I never seen doormen in the shopping mall. But yeah, I remember like the second day when I arrived in Dubai, and I was still very excited and surprised like how fancy the whole city is. It's literally like luxury. And so I remember walking out of the shopping mall and then seeing the doorman opening the door for me, and I look at them, I'm like, shit, this is Dubai. I'm in Dubai. There are people like opening the door for me right now. But it's also like not surprising when you think about it is Dubai, you know, it's a city of luxury. So it's not like really, really like that surprising. I mean, so the next one is that they requires fingerprints in a lot of places. So I remember when I have to get my Emirates ID, which is a local ID. So before you get your Emirates ID, you actually need to go to the government places, I don't know where that is, and to provide your fingerprint. And I remember that I went to some place pretty far away from Dubai. It's probably like 1 hour driving. And they took prints from all your 10 fingers. 10 fingers. Like, I don't even know if my own country have my all 10 fingerprints. I don't really know. I don't think they have it. But yeah, they have like someone like really professional and help you to press your fingers on the scanner. And so they have all your 10 fingerprints. Yeah, so that's pretty weird for me that they requires like all 10 fingerprints. And not just for the government ID, okay? So even after that, for my bank and for my mobile, they all need your fingerprints. So I have to go to the the stores to provide my ID in order to activate everything. And I think in a way it's good because it's like the whole process is so careful. So it's like it's very hard for people to commit fraud, or to to take your identity or whatever. But I think because this whole process is so long that it makes the waiting in the beginning so frustrating, and there's literally nothing you can do but wait for the government to process everything. And after the government process everything, you can go ahead to whatever, do your renting and to do your mobile and also like to do your bank. So it's really like in the beginning, I remember the waiting. I also share my experience at the podcast previously as well. Like the waiting for me in the beginning is literally just very frustrating. And also like I think the mobile is also very interesting for me because I remember in Australia, it's so easy to get a mobile number. I got my mobile number just buying a SIM card at supermarket, and I used that number for years. So I don't know why is it so difficult to do it here, but literally, like, even for tourists, it's not easy that you have to go to the shop to do it, to apply for it. But it's also, in a way, it's also similar in Taiwan that you cannot just get a SIM card in the supermarket. But actually, I do prefer the way in Australia more because it's just so easy, right? And it's so cheap as well. By the way, guys, it's free to call people in Australia. So after staying there for a while, I just assumed that it's all the same in other countries. So when I moved back to Taiwan, I just started calling people like it's free. And then when I got my bills, I'm like, shit, you actually have to pay for this. And it's the same in Dubai as well. And also the data is very, very expensive here. So yeah, it's just very different. And I think it's just a lot to adjust in terms of mobile. Like, I'm constantly like saving my data, you know. So yeah. Oh my god. And the next one, oh my god, people, they call you all the time, all the fucking time. I'm saying this specifically to the postal office, the postal service. So the way they work is that before they set up the delivery, or before one day before the delivery date, they call you in advance, and they will ask you like, "Hello, hi, where do you want it to be delivered? What time do you want it to be delivered?" The first time I'm like, okay, I'll tell you like where exactly it is. But then the second time, the third time, the fourth time, I'm like, okay, I put all these details on the website already. Why do you have to call me for this? Like, what is the purpose of setting up your website if you have to call me again to do that? And sometimes I don't understand their English. It's okay, I can't. But yeah, sometimes I couldn't understand them. And I think like the annoying part is because I'm working. And you know, like when you just started a new job, you're also like pretty self-conscious. You don't want to pick up phone calls. You know, you work hard. So I also feel like guilty when I have to like leave my desk to pick up their calls. So like this is something I feel like a bit annoying. And let's be honest, people, nobody likes to pick up calls these days. Everybody have social anxiety. Nobody likes to call. And they don't just call you before the delivery. So on the date of their delivery, they will call you a first time, like say, hi, I'm here, I'm at the reception, and I'm just going up to the elevator. And so usually I will just go outside and wait for them to come up the elevator. And then there's one time that I was waiting for their like 5 minutes, and I'm like, why is the guy still not here yet? Because you literally told me that you're just coming up the elevator. And the next thing I know, he called me again. He's like, hey, I'm here and I didn't see you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I am just waiting right next to the reception. The fuck are you talking about? And turns out this guy is still in the elevator, and he was literally just walking out of the elevator. And I'm like, dude, need to call me again just for this? Really? And yeah, so that's how they work here. They call you a lot. But I think it's also because they call you so many times and how the process is very long and a bit unnecessary, that you never miss things for delivery. You know, when they say it's going to be delivered on this date at this time, you will get it. And I think that's actually very good, because in the beginning, like all these postal service is all for my government documents, so I really needed to be delivered on time. So in a way, I do enjoy how much they're calling, and just to make sure like everything is in place. Whereas in Australia, people, in Australia, they never call you. Never. Like, I never received even one phone call from the postal office in Australia. So what they did is they come to your place, and then the next thing you know is you receive like a text message saying like, hey, we went to your house and you're not there, so we just dropped your parcel at the post office. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally at home all day, but can you just call me? I will literally just open the door and pick the parcel. But no, they never call you. It's so shit, honestly. Now I'm thinking about it, like the post office is really shit in Australia. So just for this case, 1 point to Dubai. And the next thing is the shopping mall here is super big. I have filmed a vlog about it before, so if you're interested, you can go to see that video. But yeah, like the shopping mall here is so big that it triggered my social anxiety every time I went there. So like the shopping mall here is not really just for shopping. It's more like a all-in-one center, so you can see like not just the big brands like Nike, Zara, H&M, whatever, and there are also banks in there, and also like supermarkets, and also post office. It's really like everything it's inside the shopping mall. And the reason behind that is because apparently it's very very hot in Dubai during summer, which I haven't experienced this, but everybody told me the same thing. And to be honest, I don't really want to experience that. But because it's so hot in the summer, so it's literally like you cannot walk on the street, even just from this building to another building. So that's why like they built like huge shopping mall. Every shopping mall is huge and with everything inside already. So you don't need to like walk to like places in Dubai. So in a way, I think for me it's good because I hate to go out. You guys know that. I like to just stay at home. So when I need to go out, if everything is just inside one building, it's convenient for me to just do everything all at once. But I think like the downside of this is just that the shopping mall is constantly crowded. I remember that one time I was there maybe 8 p.m. on Thursday, and literally it's full of people, and I'm like, it's already weekdays, like when do you want me to come exactly to avoid the crowds? There's just literally no way. And I remember that day I went to Zara, and there are already like 15 people waiting in front of the fitting room. So when it's finally my turn, I remember the lady told me that, hey, you just go to the fitting room 32. And I'm like, wow, you have 32 fitting rooms in Zara? Like, that's very new for me. That is just how huge the shopping mall is. And also, like, they have 3 staff just to take care of the fitting room area, and also like the cleaners cleaning every time somebody comes out. So it's very, very new for me. Okay. And the next thing related to this shopping mall thing is that everything opens super, super late. And you know, like being someone growing up in Taiwan, this is not that interesting because we also have a lot of stores that operates like 24 hours. But being someone who lived in Australia, it's so interesting for me because I would assume like everything closes super early. In Australia, it's like everything closes like 3 p.m. or whatever. You know, after 3 p.m., people just go to the bar and get drunk. That's how I feel. So when I came here, when I was Googling like the opening time of whatever, like even Zara, for example, they open until 12 p.m. That's just how late it is. Like even compared to Taiwan, this is still very, very late. And even for like supermarket, it closes maybe like 11 p.m. Whereas in Australia, probably the shopping mall closes at maybe 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So I think this is another point to Dubai because I think a lot of times you get off work around like 6 p.m. And in Australia, everything will already be closed at that time. Whereas here, you can still like do a lot of things. And by the way, guys, it's not just opening very late. When I'm saying like the stores, is including the bank and post office, which is amazing because even in Taiwan, like all banks closes at I think 3 p.m. or 3:30. So usually you have to like use your working hours to go to the bank or go to the post office. But here in Dubai, some banks, not all of them, they closes at maybe like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Or even the post office, sometimes I open until like 11 p.m., which is really, really amazing for me because you can also go there on weekend. Yeah, they open on weekend too, by the way, or you can go it after work. So the next one, guys, oh my God, they have separate space for women and children on the metro. So I actually already know about this before I came to Dubai. But when I first got here, I didn't really feel the need to stay at the women or children carriage because I know that there's like maybe like religious reason or whatever. And for me, I don't really care that I can stay in the mixed section as well. But there's one time that I took the metro with my friend. She's like, let's went to the women's section. And then, wow, it's life changing, guys, because, the smell is so much better there in the women's section. If you know what I mean, it really makes a lot of difference, because especially in Dubai, that I briefly mentioned this before, the metro is crowded all the time, not just in working hours, but even like on weekends, just all the time, literally. And wow, the smell, it's amazing. I mean, like when I was in the women section, it's really, really different, because women just smells good, I guess. I might get canceled after this, but I have to say it, okay? Because it really, really makes a lot difference, and I just love it. Ever since that, I always took the women's section on the metro. So if you're new to Dubai, or if you're coming to Dubai, please do that as well. And also, like, can the government also do it for the elevator as well? Because, I've been spending so much time stuck in the elevator ever since I came here, because guys, like, there's just buildings and buildings in Dubai, and especially like my company is located on a relatively high floor, so every day probably I was stuck in the elevator for like 3 to 5 minutes. And the smell, oh my god, imagine like stuck in the elevator with Indians and Arabs at the same time. Like, the smell, oh my god. And I'm saying, like, the perfume is also like so strong. Like, their perfume, respectfully, no, I don't like it. And imagine I came here like at winter time. Imagine like summertime, how bad it would be. So yeah, I really hope that they have a separate space for women for the elevator as well. And the next one, the very, very last one is, this is very personal, but so many people ask me if I'm from China. So many, like, I never experienced this many people just assume I'm from China. Because I think even because, again, back to what I say, I think because in Australia is much more diverse, that people don't usually assume where people come from, like, just in my opinion. And here, I'm not really joking. Like, I can sit there and minding my own business, and people will approach me and be like, "Are you from China?" And I remember, like, one time I was just getting off work and I was in the elevator, again, stuck in there. And then this one, I think, Indian came inside, and he looked at me. Hey, he literally just looked at me, and he said, "Are you from China?" And I said, "No, I'm from Taiwan." And he's like, "Oh, you look like you're from China." And I'm like, what Taiwanese people look like. Oh my god, like, why do you open a conversation like that? I don't like it. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not offended or whatever. I just feel like it's very new for me how people just assume that I'm from China. And everyone, literally every single one. Like, do I look like Chinese, everyone? But yeah, guys, that's all I have today. And I think most things that I said today are good things, actually, right? Because I don't really, I think except for the fact that it's very, very slow, like, the government is very slow here, and the customer service isn't really that good. Everything else, I'm quite, like, happy with my life here in Dubai. Like, I think everything I said in the beginning, when I make the video that I'm not happy, is because it's really, really because of the waiting time in the beginning. It's just so long, to the point that I didn't really know where is the end of it. And now I'm finally the end of it. Now I have my own apartment, that I'm really, like, just grateful and happy with my life here. So thank you guys so much for listening to my podcast today, as usual. And again, like, please don't take anything I said seriously. I'm just very politically incorrect, and I love racist jokes. But I hope, like, you guys at least, like, feel entertained today, or learn something interesting about Dubai. And if there's anything you guys want to know about Dubai, or any topic that you guys want me to talk about, feel free to leave it in the comment. And thank you guys so much for listening to my podcast today. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye now.